Now, the reason why I asked you about like anime and stuff like that, are you a subtitle or a dubbed? Are you a sub or a dubbed guy?
Okay. If it wasn't for the fact that I am massively dyslexic, I would be fine with subtitles, but I have to go with dubs because I'm like constantly pausing, and just really kind
Yeah.
of makes it a lot longer to watch. So that's more of a limitation of myself because I understand that the translations are vastly different from subtitles to dubbing.
Hmm.
So it's like I'm watching. I mentioned Shogun, and a good majority of that show is in Japanese. So there's times where I'm like, I'm fine with reading it, but there's times like, okay, I gotta pause it. This is really long.
Yeah. Like for me, I prefer subs whenever possible, is because I
Right.
like the no anime, at least for me, like and even how they said it, it's all about like emotions, right? It's all about
Mhm.
how they're feeling, and that's why sometimes when you watch like the dub versions, it's like it's not as great, or it's just different. Or the reason why I want to bring that up is because of localizations.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
this comes to us from CBR. The Crunchyroll CEO says that AI generated subtitles are definitely an area we're focused on. Crunchyroll CEO Raul Perini says AI generated subtitles are an area focused on testing for the streaming service, perhaps the dismay of audiences. Now, I believe a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, we talked about this thing that came out with Kobayashi Made, right? And they talk about how talked about the patriarchy, and that wasn't in
Yeah.
the original thing,
Mhm.
right? So, and there's a person who's a part of the localization people who are getting upset. The people are calling her out, and she started
Mhm.
banning and blocking people. And then now she was one of those people who are extremely afraid of AI taking over
Yeah.
her job.
Well, if they didn't start injecting their politics into it, they wouldn't have to go this route, right? And
Hmm.
I'm not saying it wouldn't have gotten there to begin with, but they definitely helped speed it up. It's like the same thing when they raise the prices, not raise the prices, but raise minimum wage, like in California. Suddenly they start getting rid of employees because they're too expensive, and you just go to a kiosk
Yeah,
and order your food there, and the machine flips your burger or whatnot and delivers it to you. It's the same idea, right? Just for a
hmm
different reason. And she basically, because of her actions, is pissed off these companies in Japan that create manga that don't want their works to be bastardized by Americans and this stupid ideology.
yeah.
So what do
Like
you do?
for me, I'm one of those people who is like, okay, what did they say in Japanese? Make that I know what's it called again? How I did take Japanese in high school and in college. How they phrase it is sort of like Yoda speak,
Yeah. Mhm.
like I think like, and it's similar to people who speak Spanish. They can actually, how they understand it, like where the words go. It's a
Mhm.
lot easier of where the format is. So as long as it's similar or exactly the same thing and it makes sense in English, translated
Mhm.
that way. That's all we
Yeah.
want. We don't want any bull crap saying, we don't like censorship either here.
Yeah.
And but that's the reason why they are afraid, is because they know that if these AI generated subtitles were bad, these localizer would be like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
My job is secure because they're bad.
Mhm.
The reason why they're scared is because they're good,
Yeah.
right? And same thing with these AI art and stuff like that.
Mhm.
These things coming out with like Sora and stuff. Let's go and read this. Let's see. Perini sat down with The Verge for an hour-long interview where he discussed how Crunchyroll could become more attractive for attractive option for anime fans. One solution was increased development in AI-generated subtitles, where Perini said AI is definitely something we think about a lot, and have a lot of different workflows in organizations. Right now, one of the areas we are focused on is subtitling and our closed captioning, where we go from speech to text. How about we improve and optimize our processes where we can get the subtitles done in various languages across the world faster, so we can launch it as close
Mhm.
to the Japanese release as possible. I think that'd be pretty cool, because whenever, I remember when I was waiting for Your Name, which is phenomenal movie by Makoto Shinkai. I was waiting for Your Name. It came out in Japan. I had to wait like 4 or 5 months for them to localize it here in the States. And did you watch Your Name?
No, I haven't.
It's I guess a lot of people are saying Makoto Shinkai is like a successor to Hayao Miyazaki for Ghibli
Mhm.
studios. But he made 3 movies. I think it's Your Name, Weathering with You, and Suzume, which is like all came out. It's like a love story kind of thing, but it's like really, really well written. And the first one is about like body swapping. And the thing is, a lot of people's like, oh, body swap. That means the main character is gender fluid, non-binary. Like, no, it's not. no, it's not. But
They
yeah,
were doing this shit with Rama Half back in the 70s, man. This ain't new.
yeah. I used to watch Ranma and read it. Like, I used to have like mangas and reading it. The reason why I had the mangas is because they actually draw in the nipples, which is the anime. You don't see it. So that's the reason why I read them instead, because like I would go over to my friend's house and they had a bunch of manga and I would just read them.
She's got boobs.
Yeah, it's like, oh, and the dad touches why it turns into a panda, and I love it.
Yeah. It's cute. It's cute is what it is.
And it's funny is because I go by P-chan at work. So a lot of people who don't know what Ranma is, like P-chan's the little pig, the little black pig.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. Let's continue reading. So how do we improve or optimize basically, okay, read that already. Okay, Perini's quote arose during a conversation about how he hoped to make Crunchyroll more viable than piracy, with one of the piracy's biggest selling points being that it's free and sometimes also releases content faster than official services. He highlighted that the fan desires to access anime as close to the Japanese release as possible. Yeah,
I mean, that's one of the things that like years ago, I want to say it was like 2 or 3 years before Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex got an American release. I was finding subtitled versions that were being released on the internet. You could find it using LimeWire, other peer-to-peer services. I don't remember all of them, but yeah, I mean that's how I was able to watch the series before it got released in America, like 2 or 3 years before it happened.
Yeah, like I used to go to this when I used to live down in Southern California, like near LA. The only place I was able to actually get like other than going online, but like to sort of get it like legally, I guess there's this tiny store in San Gabriel called Orbits, and they would have like VHS of like anime that's coming out from Japan, and it's all subtitled, which is great. And but the thing is, like it's even with that, it still took him months for him to get it. But like now you have like people who, every Thursday or Friday, like a person would translate a manga on like some website, and that's how I would read like Naruto and like Bleach and what's it called, these other animes and mangas that I've been reading, is because it's a lot faster. But if they can do it, I think this will be huge. Like imagine like getting something that it's like that's all AI and it's accurate. Like I think this will be huge for the industry. Yes, it's gonna suck for a lot of the shitty localizers, but I think this is good in my opinion. How do you feel?
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It sucks that they're going to lose their jobs, but for some of them, they kind of brought it on themselves, and ultimately, yeah. I mean, if they want to get Americans quicker access to these shows, that they have to do it, because localization, I mean, it takes time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially if you're doing the dubbing too. So
yes, and the thing is that what makes me like, of course, like what irks me a lot is just like when these localizers, they know they're doing this and they're like, I'm gonna sneak in my hidden agenda, right? It's like it's sort of like it. I guess it doesn't have to like relate to that, but like when they try to sneak it in, it's like they hooked you in the first 2 episodes, and then the second episode or third episode is like super woke or completely different from what the original source material is. I'm like, that's when people get really upset, right?
Yeah.
And like the third episode of The Last of Us, the live, the one on HBO Max, where the director was proudly saying, "Oh, I tricked the fans into watching a gay romance."
Yeah,
like no one likes being freaking, like bait and switch like that, dude. It's like watching like, and the thing is, I never watched Kobayashi Maid, but my wife does. My wife, she loves it, and I was like, did you watch it in subbed or dubbed? And she said, I watched it in subbed. And she's like, what happened? So I told her about the situation, and she was like, oh yeah, they deserve to lose their jobs. It's because that's not what the original intent of the creator was and the writer was.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. See, naturally, AI subtitling proves contentions. Many anime fans were concerned about the low-quality subtitles in the Yuzuki family's Four Sons debut episode, leading some to believe that they had been generated by AI. These subtitles were notorious.
That's funny.
These subtitles were notoriously awkward, occasionally to the point of being nonsensical, and feature numerous grammar issues. Crunchyroll was forced to delete the episode following the outrage by fans on the social media, with many asking why didn't they pay professionals to do a better job. Many manga fans on social media also cite poor official translations as motivators by piracy, with the United States being the number one worst offender of piracy. Of course we are.
Yes, we are.
This conversation resurfaced following the arrest of 2 individuals in Japan for leaking early content from weekly shonen manga. That's actually pretty funny. But yeah, in my opinion, if you don't need to have 10 localizers, you just need to have like 2. You have the AI do it, do the basic heavy lifting, like the 80%, and then the back end and the front end, like 10% of each. Make sure you go through and you read
Make sure
it,
it's
make sure
accurate.
it's correct.
Yeah.
And that's it. And just get it out. Like
make corrections and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's yeah. I would say when it comes to AI, I think I work in tech and I work on Marvel and I do art for them. And we have a saying that says people who are afraid of AI and people are basically automizing things are like redundant, like manufacturing and like cars and stuff like that, microwaves and all that stuff that's make our lives easier. They said that people who don't use AI are going to lose their jobs faster and a lot quicker than people who use AI. The artists are people who use AI are going to have their jobs still.
Yeah.
So it's just how you can roll with the punches and stuff like that.
Well, technology changes and evolves. I mean, we used to have people manually punching in, telephone numbers, right? I mean, where you had people working a switchboard, and that's all gone away. I mean, and a lot of it is because of automation. So automation isn't going anywhere. I mean, that's primarily my area of focus in tech has been DevOps, which is all about automation, server automation and whatnot. And I mean, it's a lot more complex than that, but it's that shit ain't going away. it's gonna be used more and more, some for good, some for bad. And a lot of it, we're talking about the whole thing with Gemini, is that the stuff when it needs to be is neutral. It doesn't need to have a bias. It just needs to spit out the right answer or what you ask it to do.
Thanks for checking out this segment of the Project Eggroll podcast. If you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you will know next time when we go live. We do go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Once again, we are just getting started. Tons of more video to come. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time.